Hey, I'm Dave Watkins, Watkins Films. The Halloween season continues, and today we are here to talk about a new film, and this one actually is new. It's from 2023, and it is the newest one I've reviewed so far. We are talking about Late Night with the Devil. This is a new release coming from Umbrella Entertainment, which is an Australian company, and this is a fairly impressive looking collector's edition. We're going to dive into the contents here shortly. But first, a little bit about the film itself. It is kind of a mixture between a found footage film and a documentary. And it is about a talk show host who is in competition with Johnny Carson. It takes place in 1977. Most of the film takes place on Halloween night, and it is the broadcast of his late night talk show for 1977. And now, as far as the structure of the film, it starts off with like a kind of a documentary clip show, which sets up a lot of like this is this takes place in the future. Like somebody has put this together, kind of like at the beginning of the Blair Witch Project when you see a bunch of interviews and stuff. But I guess it's a little different than that, because this is actually the documentary at the beginning looks to be, it would have been put together by somebody not related to the production of the actual show. So it's like it does a lot of background about the show. It tells you a lot about the main character, played by David Dastmalchian, who is he's a really good actor. He does a really good job in this film. He was in supporting roles in Suicide Squad, Oppenheimer, and films like that. So he has been in very big projects, but he's not usually the main character. Here he is the main character, and he is a talk show host where he's in direct competition with Johnny Carson. He doesn't want to be below Carson. He wants to be better or the best. So that's his goal. The first part, it kind of sets all that up. Carson's doing a lot better than him, so he wanted to put on this really crazy show on Halloween where he has these three guests on, who all three guests have different abilities, supernatural abilities. The first one is kind of a psychic. His name's Christal, the character's name. And then the second person that they bring on is Carmichael Haig, who is a magician and a hypnotist. But he's also a skeptic because he knows the secrets how to make all these things fake. And then the third person is kind of a girl who has been possessed by a demon, and her name is Lily, and her psychiatrist or psychologist maybe, June Rose Martin. And those are the three guests who are set to appear on the show. And the way the movie plays out is it will show a segment. It just shows it like it's the show. He comes out, he does all his stuff, and then it brings a guest on, and then when it goes to commercial, though, it goes into it cuts to black and white, and it follows behind the scenes of what happens in between the commercial, going to commercial, and then coming back on. And at the beginning of it, it says that's like some behind the scenes footage, but it doesn't necessarily read that way. It's pretty clear that it was shot, but because you don't see anybody with a camera, like a behind the scenes camera. And at that point, 1977, these behind the scenes cameras would have been freaking humongous. But it works, so it's cool to see the behind the scenes stuff. And then eventually, when it introduces the Lily, the girl who's possessed by a demon, it does another documentary part. They're like, we filmed this documentary part, and it shows another documentary segment, and then it goes on until the end. Now, there is a part at the end that cheats. It goes out of the found footage, but there wasn't really any way to get. I guess there's two things about that. Maybe there wasn't a way to get out of the found footage thing, or maybe the movie isn't really a found footage film at all. Maybe it's something else. But I want to tell you something else about this special packaging here. It came with a VHS tape. Now, at first I was like, okay, that's cool. I got some old VCRs. I'm gonna break one out, but it was actually a little more challenging than I thought. But the first VHS player broke out. I put it in, hooked it up, and I tried to. It turned on, but then it wouldn't play. It had a tape already in it. It had a Casper tape in it. But it wouldn't play. So I was like, okay, so I got one more chance. So I got the other VCR out. And then, voila. Well, as you can see, I was able to get this VCR to work. It took a little doing, but I was able to finagle it just the right way. And you can see how gloriously awful the resolution looks. Look at that. Now this is the House, the first one. Just to clarify, what you're seeing on the TV there isn't House MD with Hugh Laurie. It is House, as in House Ding Dong. You're dead. We'll take a brief look at this VHS copy of A Late Night with the Devil. So this VHS tape is properly labeled Night Owls, episode 335. From October 31st, 1977. All right, what on earth? Look at this. What? So, it looks like it's the same film. It doesn't have the opening to the film on it, but it looks like it's just like straight up just the episode. And then let's see what else happens after. So wow, all right, yeah. Well, the biggest difference I've noticed about the VHS tape, other than the fact that it's black and white and in standard definition, that when it goes, well, first off, it doesn't have the documentary set up segment at the very beginning of the film, but then it goes into it, and then when it goes to commercial, instead of cutting to the behind the scenes camera stuff, it just goes to commercial, and you see some bars there for, I guess, however long it takes, and then it comes back. And then at the end of it, surprisingly, they do show the part that isn't the found footage part. So they break, again, on the VHS tape, they do break their own rules with the VHS tape too. But this is an interesting way of seeing it. It's also cool that it is in black and white. So let's take a look at this packaging and see what Umbrella has. I haven't actually cracked open all of this yet, even though I did see the movie, but I haven't looked at all of these contents yet. Cavendish is the lowest. Here's a TV guide. This is pretty cool. This is actually a TV guide of like when the Night Owls. The name of the show is Night Owls, and like it was on TV, and that's cool. Let's see what else is in here. So here's the film itself, and that's the cover, and it comes with the Blu Ray, and there's a poster. Let's take a look at that, shall we? So the poster, there's actually a double-sided poster. You've got this one, and then you got the reverse. So you got two options. And so we got some cards, and a booklet. Let's take a look at the cards first. All right, so we got there's Jack Delroy, played by David Dastmalchian. Here's another poster, like an art type of poster. Another artsy poster. Here's another one. Now this character here named Gus is he kind of reminds me of Al on Home Improvement, where he's kind of the person that does all the work, and then as far as the background work, but then he kind of gets the short end of the stick a lot of the times. He's a very nice guy. Another poster. Another one, and another one. And then last but not least, there is a book that says Conversations with the Devil. And this is which is the name of the book that the psychologist, or she may be a psychiatrist, June Ross Martin wrote. It even has a character name on here, but this actually doesn't have the book in here. It's more of a behind the scenes information, and I mean it's got a lot of information about the film and the background of it. I haven't taken a look at that yet, so I'm pretty impressed with this packaging. I will be getting a 4K pretty soon. I hated a double dip on it, but I really wanted this packaging, and I was like, I may have to get the 4K too, even though the filmmakers don't say the Blu-ray's better. But I don't know. That's all I'm going to do with the plot here. I'm not going to go deep into it and talk about what happens at the end, even though some very interesting things happen, and there are things to discuss about that. It is left somewhat open-ended. depends on, there are a few options about what could have happened at the end. But as far as, I watched this movie twice. I did watch it on streaming, right? I watched it on streaming, and I started to watch it one night, and I was just hooked. The whole film it just really, it really fascinated me. Like the structure, I like the feel of it, the 1977 feel. I like the way that it takes place on Halloween night, and they have it decorated for Halloween night. All the characters are very fascinating. The acting is fantastic. I want to like point out her name is Ingrid Torelli, maybe it's probably how you pronounce it, but she plays Lily, the possessed girl, and she just knocks it out of the park. I thought everything she did was just fantastic. But all the other actors were terrific too. They did really well, and I think that it all came together very nicely. And it kind of, the ending is a little disturbing, but I think it works for it being a horror movie. I'm gonna go ahead and do some ratings. This umbrella packaging, I'm gonna give this a 5. This is really awesome. The movie itself, I'm gonna give it a 4, leaning towards a 4.5. But I really enjoyed this film, and like I said, I watched it once, and even the second time I watched it, when I got this Blu-ray, I was just hooked to the screen the whole time, and it's a great ride. Anyway, I'm Dave Watkins. Let me know what you thought about this movie, and I hope you're celebrating Halloween appropriately. And if you haven't done so already, if you like this video, and subscribe. Thanks for watching.